The NBA is popular with celebrities. You see so many prominent figures catching games courtside. Actors, artists, models, retired sports, you name it. That basketball players must have wonderful stories about cutting it up with someone who has more clout than them. So let's take a look at some NBA hidden chats that you surely missed. Consider JJ Redick. The Sixers sharpshooter recalls high-fiving Jack Nicholson as a rookie, hearing it from Floyd Mayweather because the boxer had a prop bet relying on his abilities to get buckets, and the time Ashton Kutcher, of all people, was talking shit to him. On the other hand of the scale, players like Tyson Chandler, Kyle Korver, DeAndre Ayton, Eric Bledsoe, and Tobias Harris are unaffected by the spectators. It's as if they've had blinders on and can completely disregard anyone, no matter how many followers they have, stationed only feet away on the hardwood. The guys who pay attention to the famous faces, on the other hand, have a story or two to tell. So we broke into a couple locker rooms and called a slew of current and former NBA players to ask them about their greatest celebrity courtside stories. If you've heard any of these before, you're in some exclusive company. First up, Chris Rock. Kobe Bryant, a Lakers icon and future Hall of Famer, known for his tremendous focus and deadly instinct, recalls a famous comedian chatting to him during Game 1 of the 2010 NBA Finals. Quote unquote, "The one that stands out is the lack of interaction I had with Chris Rock during a playoff series. When I arrived home, the television was turned on. They're showing game highlights, and Chris Rock is seated next to the bench at the Staples Center. I guess he was whispering in my ear about nothing in particular. I'm not sure. I'm alone with Chris Rock, but I'm gazing ahead. I can't even hear what he's saying. There's no acknowledgement, yet he's directly in my ear. That's the one that has stayed with me the most. I had no idea that it transpired. It was quite amusing to reflect on." Next up, Floyd Mayweather. Donovan Mitchell, the Jazz's impressive second-year player, had a welcome to the NBA moment in 2017 featuring a boxing legend / courtside regular at the Staples Center and constant defensive pest Patrick Beverley. Quote unquote, "I hadn't made an NBA three-point shot in the first month of the season. I was still figuring out things and wasn't playing particularly well. We were down by 16 or 17 points against the Clippers, and I went on an 11 or 12-point run against Patty Bev. Oh, this is exciting, I thought." Floyd Mayweather's front row. I'm talking trash and staring at Floyd as if to say, hey, this is what I do. I'm attempting to be as amusing as that as a small kid. Patty must have dealt with Floyd or they don't know each other. And I believe Floyd waved to him saying, "Don't let him do that to you." And I didn't score any more points the rest of the game. Austin Rivers, who is currently with the Rockets, spent 4 seasons with the Clippers, so he's seen his fair share of celebrities sitting courtside. One of his most memorable stories, like Donovan Mitchell's, has Floyd Mayweather stirring things up. Quote unquote, "I never had any problems with Floyd, so it's always a good time. What he does is try to gas up 2 guys. It might be anyone. It may be 2 all-stars. Could be 2 guys off the bench. Saying, yo, he can't guard you, he'll say. And that guy will hear it on purpose, and they'll start fighting. He's done it with a couple of my players. He did it with myself and Dennis Schroeder, getting us to fight. We did after all. Kevin Hart is going to say something. The usual suspects are involved. Floyd is, unquestionably, one of the more outspoken courtside celebs." Next up, Kevin Hart. James Harden isn't a big talker. The all-time great normally lets his play speak for itself, but one night in Philadelphia, his sharpshooting quickly silenced Sixers superfan Kevin Hart, saying, "It was not in Houston. It happened in Philly. Kevin Hart was yelling at me, telling me I wasn't going to score, that I wasn't going to do this, that I wasn't going to win, and I guess I went off for 10 straight points and we won the game." Next up, Spike Lee. PJ Tucker believes it's wonderful when celebrities turn out to be true basketball fans. Like other NBA players, the Rockets forward and noted sneakerhead has trashed Spike Lee, and he recalls meeting Jay-Z, saying, "I've had some squabbles with Spike in the past. There were a lot of people at the Garden previously, nothing out of the ordinary. All it's simply for fun. They're just admirers. Like celebrities are fans, but you don't really know if they're true fans. A few superstars, for example, may be familiar with you and you're unaware of it. Meeting Jay-Z was awesome." Next up, Kobe Bryant. Wilson Chandler recalled the memorable night in 2009 when Kobe Bryant went insane in Madison Square Garden. It was his responsibility to protect Kobe, and the Knicks' most famous fan wasn't helping. Quote unquote, "When Kobe hit 61 in the Garden, Spike kept talking shit to him, and I was like, damn, would you just leave him alone? He's murdering us. I had to protect him. I didn't start the game protecting him, but all the highlights show that it's me at the finish, so that's all that matters. My dog, would you please leave him alone, I say to Spike. He's already got enough gasoline. I told Spike after the game that it was all his fault," Kobe continued. "He may take credit for that one." Next up, Dwayne Wade. Because he's married to Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade normally keeps his cool when he encounters celebrities at games. But the future Hall of Famer, who just ended his 16th and last NBA season, couldn't help but smile when he saw Denzel Washington sitting courtside earlier this season. Quote unquote, "I'm sure there's a lot if I think about it, but what's fresh in my mind is being in Staples Center this year for my last game in LA. You know, most players attempt to remain calm when they see their favorite star or actress, as well as my wife, sitting courtside. But Denzel was nearby, and all of my coolness evaporated. I dashed over to Denzel as if he were my man, my favorite actor. All the coolness had vanished, but I had the opportunity to go over there and have that moment. He offered some encouraging things to say to me about my career and how I handled it. It made me a little upset simply knowing that someone I looked up to as a kid was following my career and having the things he had to say about it. It didn't get any cooler than that for me." Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss another video. We'll see you guys next time.